kaira modo khainan di Sweden Fatou mane yoti gori kujeje jambe monante ngina dada Abaraka sabiture Sajo badi umi badi Salim pele Kairobi je jayda kunna Kairobi je
Kairobi je jayda kunna Kairobi je
salu jayde o Kairobi je wala dinga kaira mo fete
Kairobi kunna Kairobi je
ni ajen kaira mo wanda ngaman kudole long Kela tonyi ndirla Nagorozi salim de Kampala andum fana munate khadila Nibo wallahi kakambia nibo wala dingo akili kutamira kuta kambia kutoi anagara adinga nagara jede tabaru Asisa uno kairala jayda tabaru sinakala mo jayda dima aja bindu gonda dima roy fal kema far mara jayda kema na dosa kema Aja kaza mandi jayda doma ani aja madi jayda ma Usmani jayda fama salifu Barkina jayda fama Sidi jayda fama Amadi jayda fama salifu Kaira mokon Kudubo di bateri mao Musa suso teri ma alaji konte teri Jali baku ya de teri ma Amaya ya marone teri mo Usman sise teri Kalilu ture kainde teri Jayda kula anda tuwa de bembala Kuye jayda te manto morogoyi Fanana duwa jabi nama Adiba dunga kera modu kumandi Dr. Puba Baji De kuma Baji kema Stockholm Baji baju ada terima Adiba dunga kera modu kumandi Lamini jawlao Dada rainbow Sanyam badada Kolai rainbow Hotel Loto. Seku jam mejirangai. Spending go and some motor la manyani. Alaywa abuna talibo. Kera modu kumani. Dada kaira kabiloto. Birika masane kula hey. Yule tura de dinna. Jataba musol way. Olfana tura de DJ di bala kiyam. Yurungu sego nada modu wakay. Yurfana tura de dinna. Sirivamboji dampungu, sajamboji dima baradu, turalu nila inundara. Musokumba dima, banda kamara kema, ajakan kema. Ali badu akera modu kumani, ibengana dala kira nyamanada. Lamir kinde, kaira Kongo, jara suma. Badam Fatou Mama da Matari Balde Musma Kanibi Nakaira Modo Hainan di Sweden Fatou Mane Yotigori Kujeja Jambe Monante Dada Abaraka Sabiture Sajo Mesture Sajo Badi Umi Badi Kotoman Kona be Sweden Salim Pele Aninga Nagala Nagala kat Jera Gaba Munanga Nagala Nagala kat Kairobije, Jaida Kuna, Kairobije. Kairobije, Jaida Kuna, Kairobije. Salam Jaida, Kairobije. Waladi Kairobije. Kairobije, Jaida Kuna, Kairobije. Dia Jenga Kairamo, Wandanga Mankudo Long. Kela tonyi ndirula anumfana tekela namoni Nagorozi salim de Kampala anumfana munateka Nibo wallahi akakambia nibo wala dingwa kile kutamira kuta kambia kutoi adinganagara adinganagara jedeka Aziza uno kairala Jaida kabaru Mesinagala Avangara mo Jaida dima Aya bintu konda dima Raifal kema Farmara Jaida kema Na dosa kema Afansu le Jaida doma Kaza mandi Jaida doma Ani ngaja mati da Jaida wuluta Jaida kabao Jula Jada Fama, Usmani Jada Fama, Salifu, Barkina Jada Fama, Sidi Jada Fama, Amadi Jada Fama, Salifu, Kaira Mokun. Kudubo di bateri mao, Musa Suso teri ma alaji konte teri. Jali baku ya teri ma, abaya ya marone teri mo. Usman Sise teri, Kalilu Ture kainde teri. Jaida kuna anda tuwa de bambara. Buye jaida te manto moro goi, fana na tuwa jabi tamma. Adiba dunga gara modu kumandi Dr. Puba Baji De kuma Baji kema Stockholm Fake Baji wada terima Adiba dunga gara modu kumandi Lamini jawla o Dada rainbow Sanyamba dada Kola rainbow Oto loto Seku jamme jirangai Dole la manyani Alaji wa abuna talibo Kera kumani Pirika masane kula Hey Ketura Jataba musol way Wal fatura Yurum kusebo nada mod work hey Yun fana yatura Siri famboji dampungu Sajamboji dima baradu Turu nila inubara Sokumbadima, Fanta Kamara Kema, Ajakan Kema. Alibadu Kera Modu Kumandi, Ibangana Dala Kira Yamanada. Lamin Kinde, Kaira Congo, Jara, Badam Fakema.
Yeah. Yep.
Kujeja jambe monante ngina dada Abaraka sabiture sajo mesture.
Hello and welcome to another Fatou Fridays. As we always do, we're here again for another special program. To talk to you about issues that happens during the week. As you know, it's been a very busy week this week. And of course, today has been a very, 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 very interesting day. We're just going to bring you the updates of what happened today at the State House. I'm sure you all know the news by now if you're following us. The President of the Republic of the Gambia has just issued done a cabinet reshuffle and a very interesting one. So what we are going to do right now is just give you the update as to what happened, and later on we are going to have some experts to talk about the reshuffle. As you all know, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs has been redeployed to the Vice President's position. So Honorable Hussein Dabo is now the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. And so they are telling me the sound is not is good. Is the sound good? Can you tell me if the sound is good? Is the sound good? Can you tell me? They're telling me the volume. Sorry, my technical team will just help me with the volume right now. So let me see whether it's me or the... Okay, so they're telling me that the sound is not very good, so I don't know. Sorry, just okay. So some are saying yes, so I think I'm just gonna. Some are saying, hold on, just give me 1 second, so I can just 1 second. So, okay. So they said the sound is very good. Okay. So I'm just going to go straight. So effective today, 29th June 2018, the Cabinet of the Republic of the Gambia has been reshuffled as follows. Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Honorable Ousainou Darboe, Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asila, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, which was before Mambu Njai, but we just got an update from the Office of the President to say that has not been confirmed. So the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs is not yet confirmed, so we are just putting that on hold. The Minister of Agriculture, Lamin Ndiba, is the Minister of Agriculture. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Gambians Abroad, Mamadou Tangara. Minister of Lands and Regional Affairs, Musa Drame. Minister of Trade and Regional Integration, Amadou Sane. Minister of Youth and Sports, Haba Drame Sidibe. Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Aissatou Toure. Meanwhile, Honorable Fatou Tambajang has been redeployed to the Foreign Service, whilst Honorable Henry Gomez is now Special Youth Advisor to the President of the Republic. Honorable Omar Jallo has been relieved of his duties. So this is the press conference we just got from the Office of the President. So apparently, the Honorable Minister of Communication Infrastructure, T.A. Jao, has been removed. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Amadou Jallo, has been removed. The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Henry Gomez, has been moved as to Minister of Presidential Advisor to the President. Honorable Safilo has also been removed as Minister of Health and Social Welfare. So this is the update right now. So as it stands, Honorable Ousainou Darboe is the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. Honorable Ibrahim Asila is the Minister of Communication and Infrastructure. Honorable Mambu Njai, that not confirmed yet, but Honorable Lamin Ndiba is the Minister of Agriculture. Honorable Mamadou Tangara is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Honorable Musa Drame is the Minister of Lands and Religious and Regional Government, Lands and Regional Government, of course. Trade, Industry and Employment is Amadou Sane. Habadrame Sidibe, it's Youth and Sports. And Dr. Aissatou Toure is Health and Social Welfare. Meanwhile, Honorable Ahmad Ba is still the Minister of Tourism and Culture. And Honorable Mbalo is also still the Minister of Interior. So this is the cabinet. This is the cabinet right now. The president just effected the cabinet reshuffle. This is the new cabinet of the Gambia. We are critically looking at who becomes the next Director General of GRTS. We know Ibrahim Asila is now the Minister of Communications. So I'm going to have Mama Linguère Sarr on very soon, so we can look at all of these appointments one by one and just look at them critically, because these are important. Every government makes a reshuffle, but we can critically look at these cabinet appointments and see what is what and what do we think is really good. One thing that is very remarkable here, Honorable Ousainou Darboe, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, a lot of people are shocked by the redeployment of the Vice President, Dr. Honorable Fatou Tambajang. So we will look at that and see what really happened. But it seems that what we are also looking at right now, it seems that the president right now is not really sticking to, let's say, this coalition government. The president is really making radical changes. Before, for the past 1.5 years, let's say for the past 2 years, it has been a coalition government. But I think what the president is doing right now is trying to say, look, we have been doing this as a coalition, but now it's time to build on my own team. That is what some people are predicting. That's what people are looking at it. Some people, I've seen some people make comments on social media saying this is not a coalition government again. Well, we will look at all of that when Mama Linga comes, and we will also let you guys call in to tell me your observations. So we're just going to start with the appointment of the vice president. We're going to start with the appointment of the vice president, Honorable Hussein Udaba. Before this was the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Gambia. During his position for the past 1.5 months, what has he done at the Foreign Affairs Ministry? What has he done for him to be elevated to this position? I think it will be important for us to look at that as well, because all of these ministers have served for the past. They have served for the past, let's say, for the past couple of months. So, meaning the president have worked with all of them, and he knows all of them single-handedly and what they're able to do. So, for us for him to be able to make these radical moves, a lot of people also said the president was really weak and he was being manipulated by. He was not really in control. A lot of people said that. So I think what this shows also, the president taking that bold move and doing what he believes is right. Is this the right decisions? I don't know, and the experts will have to debate that. But one thing that is eminent right now is the president has flexed his muscles. I remember when he relieved Honorable Fatou of his cabinet position, a lot of us said the president is trying to flex his muscle. And after that, people said, well, we thought he would do some great moves. But this cabinet reshuffle is only strengthening one thing and one thing alone. President Adama Barrow is the president of the Republic of the Gambia. President Adama Barrow is definitely flexing his muscles. But one interesting appointment, though, I am also very interested in is Honorable Ibrahim Asila being the communications minister. In fact, I spoke to him last night. We spoke about some of these issues that happen, with the press releases and others. So up to yesterday, I think when I spoke to Ibrahim didn't even know about this. So this is one thing I know. A lot of people said Ibrahim, when it comes to communication and communication, and when it comes to communication, obviously he's got a lot of experience and he's got a lot of communication background, and he's done a great job in GRTS. But communication also goes with information technology, but which entails GAMTEL, GAMCEL. So these are things that is going to be a new challenge for him as a minister. To be more, to learn more about these departments, especially GAMTEL, GAMCEL, which are very complex. So this is going to be a new challenge. I am okay that I'm seriously convinced that when it comes to the Department of the Information, when it comes to the ministry as to journalism work and others, Ibrahim is definitely going to do a great job there. But he is going to have a bigger challenge when it comes to information technology, which entails GAMTEL, GAMCEL, and PURA and others. So that is definitely something that is very, very important. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to read out this WhatsApp number. So you can call, because we're going to have 1 or 2 people to call and tell us what their perspective before Mama Linga comes in, because I want Mama Linga to come in. But before that, also I want to look at for example, the Minister of Agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture is Lamin Ndiba is the new Minister of Agriculture. Honorable OJ has great experience when it comes to agriculture, and it was a great shock to us, to a lot of people, that he's been moved. But again, I know recently there have been a lot of scandal regarding him, and that might play also a bigger part in all of this. But when it comes to experience, he's done this job so many years, and he's been really, really effective in his position. So This is one thing people are really very shocked with. And remember, OJ is also a member of the coalition. OJ is also a member of the coalition. So what does this mean for the coalition? What does this cabinet reshuffle really means for the coalition? Remember, Honorable Fatmata Tambajang is the mother of the coalition. So are we saying the coalition is no more? Are we saying this coalition is no more? So we're going to have to look at that and just have all of you contribute towards it, because definitely it's an interesting, a very interesting cabinet reshuffle. One position, though, I'm also looking at is foreign affairs. Dr. Tangara. Dr. Tangara has great experience. Dr. Tangara has worked as a foreign affairs minister, has worked as a foreign affairs and I think education minister, and he is in Jame time, and he's been in the United Nations for the longest, and he is really, really, really good when it comes to the foreign service. Tangara has great experience when it comes to the foreign service, and he worked for Gambia as foreign affairs minister, I think twice during Jammeh's time, and he also worked as the minister of education, higher education, and he worked at the United Nations since Jammeh's time up to now. I personally know Dr. Tangara. He is a great man of integrity and honor, and he has got a lot of experience in foreign service. So I think definitely Dr. Tangara's pick might be a very, very good pick. Dr. Tangara is very experienced when it comes to foreign service. So I think that is also a good pick. So I think the Minister of Lands and Regional Government, I'm thinking is the same Musad Rame. I know Musad Rame is a foreign. He's a businessman, and he's been the ambassador at large for the president on investment. And he's also, I think he's also a great pick. I've known him for some years now. He's been recently working as the ambassador at large for the president. So I just hope it's the same Musad Rami, but I think that's the guy. And interestingly, the finance minister, Honorable Amadou Sane, has been moved to trade. Some people are saying they want the finance minister back to the finance minister, but remember, trade and regional integration is a very, very important ministry, because trade, regional integration is a very, very important ministry. So Honorable Amadou Sane has been moved from the finance ministry to trade and regional integration. Remember, regional integration has a lot to do with our regional partners, has a lot to do with why domestic issues. For example, recently there have been a lot of issues when it comes to what is happening, price control, and dealing with the businessmen and dealing with trade issues. So Amadou Sane now will be the Minister for Trade and Regional Integration. And youth and sports. I think obviously this one is a very good move. I don't know about Rame, but I know that there have been a lot of issues when it comes to the Minister of Youth and Sports. Recently, the Minister of Youth and Sports has not had a good relationship with the Gambia Football Federation. In fact, at some point, the FIFA threatened to suspend Gambia if the Gambia continue to meddle into international football affairs. And I know this minister has not had a good relationship with the Gambia Football Federation, and the minister has not got a good relationship with the National Youth Council. So it seems like the minister was not able to bring along the people under his department. So as a minister, if you're not able to do that, I think that was some tough things that really happened there. So one would say the people of the Gambia Football Federation would really be happy about this news. And of course, the National Youth Council, remember, when the minister came, what he did first was to suspend the Gambia Football Federation and set up an investigation. and and then they went back and forth with the GFF, and then of course recently we saw the minister with the National Youth Council, and that relationship is really toxic. I remember just recently when the under 17 won the cup and we were at the State House. You see the relationship between these two bodies, the minister and the Football Federation. You definitely know that one of them definitely has to go. So I think this move will be welcomed by so many people in the football fraternity, because they had serious relationship with the minister. But then Minister of Health and Social Welfare, I think this is Mama Linger's handwork. Mama Linger has been doing a lot of advocacy recently about what is happening in our health sector. So we have a new Minister of Health, Dr. Aissatou Touré. A lot of people said this might be a good move because Dr. Touré is very, very pragmatic. She doesn't like take things lightly. So because of her sense of purpose and how she acts, this might be a good appointment. So we will look at that and also see what happens. So the Justice Minister is staying. Batamero is still the Justice Minister of the Gambia. Ibrahim Mbaro is still the Interior Minister of the Gambia, and Ahmad Ba is the Minister of Tourism and Culture. So these ministers are still staying, and the other Lamin Diba is still the Minister of Environment. So these are all appointments that are staying. So we still have some members of the coalition, because as part of part of the cabinet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open these numbers. You can call our WhatsApp number on 996 1171 996 1171. You can call this number and you can bring in your contribution. Do you think the coalition is over now that the president has made this great move, taking care of, especially removing the vice president, Fatou Tambajang? She has been a very integral part of this coalition. She was the one who brought this coalition together. For the president to remove Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang from cabinet is something that shocked a lot of people. It shocked a lot of people. So if you want to partake, can you call this number on WhatsApp, 996-1171. 996-1171. So we will take your calls on WhatsApp, 996-1171, and talk about what's your take. What's your take on cabinet reshuffle? So you can call on 996-1171 on WhatsApp, 996-1171. Badi on coming for drunk B. Well, being means that I knew Arjumo sign. President Baroye Falindiroke. Let me just put the number here. 996-1171. So you can call this number on WhatsApp. Now the one I just so I'm coming for sign tenting the wall on President Baro sign yung Arjuma sign tenting ay Falindiro kala ala masakunda yung nata kilobakang masakunda yung masakunda yung coalition or nata be kaftanyola modo be coalition economy along ko mo kuma ba coalition Gambia vice president no vice president ya Aissatou Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang president ya bondile bi ay Ousainou Darboe ke vice president Minister Jamal Jemi Alam ko Minister Kumayari Mbalu mi Alam ko coalition kono President Wolf Fanam Bondile. So most of them they call the sign but no water. Hello? 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 Hello, Jumalo? Okay, welcome to so coming for the wrong Vice President Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang. Aketa Motimi Alonko is one of the most integral members of the coalition. So hold on. So I'm a quick colleague. Yeah. So I'm coming for the wrong Vice President Atemu Moleti. Okay. So hold on. Mama Linger. So yo yung lahat kung gadugasi just na la code. Can you just can you come on, please? God. Okay, Mama Linger, I sent you the code. If you can, hello? Hello? I'm not going to call why mom Liam internet and Bahu, Gambia, I'm calling. So, okay, so somebody's calling from. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, how are you?
Bijan Roy Binyadi.
Follow me.
Anke moile.
Sorry, nobody not mistake.
Han tele live. Ila tamune fola. Okay, mbera moikan. Okay. Kerr Fatou lom. Bijan Roy Binyadi. Okay. So biya nyim ko momi moy ali amira nyaadi le nyim baro nyim falindiro minke. Okay, barka bake. Okay. 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 Baraka. I was Switzerland. Okay. Baraka bake. Swiss ko be kontonyam. Okay. Baraka bake. Baraka. So if you are hearing him, yes, the guy who was just speaking, so you can call on 996 1171 before we get Mama Linger on. So if you are calling, so I'm just gonna. Okay, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Ini yang lesan tu teman di mana di? Okay, so okay, bi tera contribution o yenyi move jere nyaadi le baro e minke anyim falindiro minke.
Honestly, I didn't see any good reason about it because you understand if I'm not a woman sees the brain of this coalition. So what was the reason why I happened that so so that's what people will have to understand. And then for people can happen. So you don't have to come and take your own decision. As a leader, you have to sit. You understand? You need more discourse because ni musuh now. You coalition don't never know this coalition. So another like more being like a killing. So it don't matter, either man that yes, I had a good cook on a casamba. For what is it? It wasn't the
Hadi, Tonyal.
I like that it was a year.
Tonyal.
That's the most important.
Okay. Tonyal.
Understand, sister. Definitely, people are thinking the more bad and you'll not really see that Gambia still.
Tonyal.
I think you don't know the Gambia and you don't be on Yaga. And you go to Bongo and put in Malu to back on the phone. That's the most important thing. And the reason why you are the point of getting one request send up no problem.
No problem with. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Abaraka bake. So womo and leti wofana wala opinion leti comme nga fanya min bron Gambia no be opinion sutole be very nyumu during the first time president we this kind of move ke so na moro France to line auto. Hello. Ibe jam la santo domandi. Ibe diam la Santo Domandi. But if we diam Santo Domandi, ibe jam farin baleke.
Oh my God, man. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say something about, this, the President movement and it. What the fuck?
Okay, what? So, yes, so, okay, I have someone else calling. Hello? God. Hold on. Okay. So, okay, so we have another caller. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hi, can you speak a little louder?
Okay. Yeah, I just want to contribute as well.
Okay.
News break, so I was kind of shocked, but at the end, I'm content anyway because the sign was Morocco is taking the leadership now.
Yes.
Because I decision Bale make job.
Very good.
As a leader, decision Sifa make, people will talk. That is it. But as an ordinary citizen, Gambian also. Before this, Mobi like a complaint. Gambia was not moving right. This coalition.
Yeah.
They are more here. So now join that. I follow. Sign the leader all responsibility. Now, responsibility. People will say, well, yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
But at the end again, the information kanana. Whereby it will clarify because the information of internal rumors go. I borrow advice manene pour ojela ko. Scandal ka kele cool because so was if I get up. Borrow for maybe I stepped out already. I go do calculate. All right. So say now decision on make. I'm a more base shock. At the end, say more black Gambian government even move from yadi because Nimbaro not what by now. Say I quit a mobile at a motor. It doesn't matter who said that or whatever. Gambia have to go forward by force because there are so many labs, informational book of Udanya. So now my surprise is why I'm Balo to you. All Mandela surprised because that guy have to go. That is the fact. That guy have to go. So now that I arrow sort of people will blame him on that side because I'm Balo to you. That is a conflict of interest. So I called him calling Majalako is a bold move, but Malokai, that area is, I don't agree with the president about that. I don't agree at all. But other than that, I fall in the Jamal is a sign of leadership. So now Bajibel saying we have to work, not undermine it.
Yeah.
Because neither do my force for Tarakoto, not mean for after the Minke resign. But Gambian people will live again. So, Fatmada Tambajan Alako is shocking, but at the end, it must be something going on. Because President at the Bondage, that big position like that. Bondage is not like, other things. So, I think let's hope for the best for Gambia now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if I barakabake ila contribution ora is interesting. It's interesting. So alhamdulillah, it's like more record Kambaratela, hold on. So hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello? Hello? So okay, so I'm just going to okay. Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Fatou.
Nah.
Ngo.
Ibas di amla santo la domandi yam. Como se moy?
Yes, ngo. Ekamwela.
Hanke moy.
Yes, yang ke lafta mina nyinko adiara nyile lafa mina ya yaje mela gumulu yam sana boy baro ayo de bunda ji fambara boy banko ya fonsto. Yonde ni baro mo bunda fambara yam sana ataro na uminkela.
Bari nakaram ko bari okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes, momoni sita roya banko interest tamini kali fo interest jibe. Ajibe banko bitanyo nyali mo da ha mo da ko jelle. Nabi mo mano fo ya faul.
Hade. Yeah.
Gamino bada da wulale le fa mbi mfana be sen na banko dia mano fo ya understand.
Hade.
Interest jibe je ya banko interest o jibe wala important. Yes, banko interest o jibe ajibe mo yimba sirin banko kan kana ko kirim ko jibe je fanna ko kirim dura dimba kanu da ma jibe banko kan wala fa on san
hade
safar mo bada wulal
to yang
mo bada wulal gamino bada wulal la yes gamino bada wulal do mata siro basiri ko kan yo Europe jam ko bada de jam batale bi jam ko si yaw tan ko mo jwala to kun kasi yaw sande boy banin kam yo tiara boy mo jwala to kun kasi man fa yaw stan
hari ha understand
ya je mera molo ay be ko ndi fam ay be mo ko ma ay mo tendo jibe mi banko nya ta jibe la mi banko ta nya do banko ka diali mo mo ko ko le ngi len tresi no ile ko len treso banko ko ta man fa ya fam
hari nga faham
telephone wada man telephone man life kono yaw san no ke to la ko le baro ya je mera mo be ko nda fam bala ki fa on kinda fam bi parate yaw san do ngile interest no anu dimbala interest wada ma finis man da banko ko nya ta jibe kam yes ile ko ya bi wana kirim baro nya to be ko na jela fam yes da ina mo na ko na ko ke do na ko jala nda jam swata
okay.
Alors, Kerr Fatou bere content da bake ko mi kiri side.
Ha. Nke moyle, aha. Hello, nke moyle.
Content di bake because ni banko ni ma fayndi ke banko tanyalo.
Aha.
So laftale banko mi banko sama nyari yol ke. Mari mo ba ko aku da mari mo be ko je.
Yeah, baraka baki ngalla kumo moyle so saying that okay. Tonyalo. Okay, Tonyalo ma baraka bake. Sa be min kela drong because Gambia beata well. So I'll hold on, baraka bake. My technical guy, can you just send me the phone call okay, hold on guys, just give me one stuff, just one hold on, one guy again. So I have I think I'm just gonna bring Abla, you wanna just come in quickly for your reaction? Please come quickly, please. Because this is a great news. So I'm just going to bring Barrister Fatou. He's our lawyer. So the president just made a bold move the president just made a bold move. Like this, let me just see what is like. Okay, the president just made a very big move. about changes. What's your reaction, especially the situation about the coalition? What do you think?
I was shocked because it is inconsistent with Barrow's leadership. I think perhaps apart from the dismissal of my father, this is perhaps the most single demonstrative decision by the president to show leadership.
Yeah.
So it's big scale. So whatever the intentions are, we can only speculate. But perhaps it is one to strengthen his leadership. Perhaps to demonstrate to the Gambian people as well that he is the president after all, and he can exercise his executive powers to remove whoever he wishes to remove from cabinet. There are a couple of people who served in the Gambian administration. I've spoken to a couple of people who had misgivings about reappointing people who have served for long in the previous administration. But those are side issues. Bringing or appointing Hussein Dabo as the VP can only perhaps be interpreted as probably a strategic move. Perhaps the rumors of infighting within the UDP and divisions created between the two individuals, perhaps this is to strengthen the relationship that previously existed before they came to power. But in other ways as well, perhaps both working from State House in close proximity would perhaps appease the UDP supporters, who perhaps are the political capital of this country. UDP are
but do you think this was a political move, though? This seems like a political move for Barrow.
I think it's a political move because as recently as a few weeks ago, there were rumors that there is this split within the UDP, and there is a wedge between Dabo and Barrow. So by appointing him as the vice president, so he's closer to the presidency, which I suppose is the aspiration of the UDP party, and being the vice president and working from the State House, probably a few meters away from Barrow, perhaps seeing each other probably on a daily basis, and probably the nature of their works, bringing them together on a daily basis as well, and daily consultations. Perhaps this is to restore the relationship that existed before they came to power, but also to sort of the Gambian people that UDP is still unified and going into the next elections.
Some people are saying Barrow is just strengthening himself for 2021 with the backing of the UDP.
That's how I viewed it, because I said to myself, because so many people are saying that he's been discarded by the UDP, that he may form his own political party. But by doing this, I think he's strengthened his hand within the UDP, and whether that may be able to contest because of his age and because of his conviction as well. But I think he's had a presidential pardon, so that's a different matter. But whether or not he'll be able to contest, but now that he's been made vice president, I think the UDP are going to be pleased with the appointment. So even people who recently as yesterday, or even this morning, or this afternoon before the appointment, who perhaps decided that Barrow was no longer a bona fide member of the UDP, would probably be pleased with the appointment. And perhaps it was political and calculative in the way that by doing this, if in case Dabo is not able to contest, he will be the natural person and the likely backing of the UDP party. So perhaps he's acted, as all politicians do, something that will appease the party and the country, but for his own interest, perhaps.
A lot of people over the years said this president is not very, he's not tough. He's been very lenient. There have been so many lapses in the government, so many issues happen. People have said this man, he doesn't say anything. What does this move tell all of us?
It's very Machiavellian, because Machiavelli tells us about leadership that you have to be brutal sometimes. You have to make decisions sometimes that would upset people. You have to make decisions sometimes that are unpopular. So what was coming to my mind when I had the reshuffle, because it's high profile, it's perhaps what Barrow is trying to tell the Gambian people is when the tough gets going, I can make tough decisions and tough choices, and I can make decisions that nobody expected. So perhaps he's trying to show to the Gambian people that he has qualities of a leader, but he can make tough choices and tough decisions. And I think this is one of those, to remove your vice president.
That's where I wanted to come in. The vice president. This woman was the one who brought the coalition leaders together. This woman was like the mother of the nation, and she was very influential. And like the president, according to what we saw outside, really respected her. Like for the president just to give her the boots, that was a great, bold decision.
Absolutely, because, they're saying in the press release that she's been redeployed.
But again, that's
not even specific. So
that's what we saw with my party.
This may be the end of her involvement in the hierarchy of government politics in terms of this government. So this may just be diplomatic political language for this being deployed, but she may just remain as a normal citizen and nothing else. So it is a high-level sacking. It's a sacking. It's a dismissal. It cannot be. You can boss it, but it's just a dismissal. Whether you dissolve or whatever it is, that she's been sacked from her post as a vice president, which is the power exercised by the president, who he can appoint whoever satisfies the requirement, the statutory requirement. So, and Fatou Bonakambajang, is a formidable woman who is, played some significant role during the coalition that ousted Jammeh, and she's one of the most high-profile, dominant figures in this administration. So to remove her completely,
what must have gone wrong?
So
something really happened.
Something must have happened. I'm sure there may be some domestic issues, domestic not in terms of, but domestic inner issues. So there may have been a distance between the two of them. There may have been a strain in the relationship, but perhaps that may not be the case. He perhaps looks at the political situation of the country going forward into the election, whether that's going to be in a year and a half or in 4 years' time or 3 years' time, and decided for his own interest, if he wanted to consolidate his power, but also for the interest of the UDP, that perhaps the best thing for him to do, if indeed there was a division within the UDP, to repair the damage, is to appoint Dabo as the vice president.
Do you think Dabo will make a good vice president?
I think, because of his experience and his age and wisdom,
his legal
background as well, understanding of issues, I think he would be a good vice president. But again, as it often happens, I think what he needs to demonstrate to the Gambian people that that the ambition is to drive forward the economy, unify the Gambian people. The issue of reconciliation being brought for the forecourt, and perhaps not be too singular in terms of party politics, because now that he's the vice, but whatever happens in this administration,
I wanted to come there. This can be risky for the UDP. See, before everyone looked at this as a coalition government, because all the coalition stakeholders are there. Now that Barrow, who is even though independent, but a UDP before, and that was the vice president, and all the UDP candidates, the ministers are still in the government, people will say this is a UDP government. Now the risky part is if anything goes wrong, it's a UDP government.
It may backfire politically to a certain extent, because for all intents and purposes, it's a UDP coup. So now you removed Omar Jallow, who is the head of a political party, who's been very vocal criticizing Jammeh over the last 20 years as well. So he's been removed entirely for whatever reason. That was appointed the vice president. He's the most high-profile Gambian politician and is the head of the United Party, the UDP. So the risk now is, because even before this, the rumors, or not even rumors, the perception in public, but some decisions that are taken by Barrow are influenced by Dabo. So now that he's the vice president, whatever happens, whatever goes right, the glory probably go to Barrow or to the Gambian people.
Yeah.
But whenever it goes wrong,
it goes to
chances are that he may be blamed probably more than Barrow.
Yes. Because remember, Dabo is the most controversial politician in this country. I mean, people hit him right, left, right, and center. So if anything goes wrong, they'll say, Dabo la Masakundala is the UDP government.
And what may happen as well, and it's likely to happen, the UDP people who are UDP tribal in terms of politics, but people who are, deep UDP supporters will be happy with this and probably
they will
work together and vote for Barrow if that were the case.
Yeah.
But in general, people are dissatisfied with Dabo. Generally, Gambian people are saying that when he came, this is when divisions within the coalition started to fall apart because he's too dominant in terms of believing that UDP is the biggest party in the country, and therefore has to have monopoly over appointments, that kind of stuff. So what will happen now is those people who are on the fringes, or those people who do not particularly support the UDP, will now look at this as a further demonstration of that monopoly by the UDP. So whatever happens, that would naturally be blamed, and then that dislike of the people for Barrow and the UDP, those people who are perhaps Joy supporters or APRC. So people like, for example, the APRC, something like we said today, exactly. So look at what they've done again.
So again, another point in thing that really the Barrow is trying to do, because just recently Barrow has been blamed for trying to get the APRC on his side and leaving the UDP and trying to form his own party. I think he's just telling the UDP, no, I'm still UDP. Look, I just brought my dad to be the vice president.
Absolutely. So, see,
it's a political move.
In so many ways,
it's a political move.
This is one of those things that nobody could have imagined this morning in terms of the scale of the change and the manner in which it happened. But again, yes, I think this kind of that the rumors and the talks that become so prevalent that the Barrow youth movement, all these things, that an incident that happened in Jawara in Badibu recently, is that Barrow is just trying to strengthen his own hand, and chances are that he was going to probably form a coalition with the APRC, form a party, and get the support of some minority parties, and then the UDP. But this demonstrates that those perceptions or those ideas are false, because what they are showing to the Gambian people is whatever. And I'm sure there were divisions within the UDP, and I'm sure there was a drift between Barrow and Dabo. But this is aimed at repairing, and I'm guessing it's already been repaired. I'm guessing there was probably sit down between Dabo and Barrow in relation to the nature of the relationship, the direction of the country, the aspirations of the UDP party, and probably both came to the realization that in order to maximize the chances of forming a majority government in the next elections would be to work together. And this is one that demonstrates the UDP, but these people, the relationship is as good as ever. Even though we all know reasonably well that there was a stain in the relationship. But I think
they're trying to show us that we are back in track.
Absolutely. But I think, but by all accounts, I think this restores the relationship, and I think going forward, they'll work together. And the idea now, or the division now, or the objective would be for how UDP will win the next elections.
What happens next if the other coalition members say, okay, now that he's going back to his base, can we form a coalition against the UDP, Barrow and the UDP?
The next elections are going to be so interesting. Because, but again, if the UDP can maintain their core. Because there's going to be a split. I'm guessing there's going to be lots of small splinter political parties.
Yeah.
So if you're from Jara and you form a political party, people from Jara will probably vote for you. So that takes a chunk from the UDP, but takes a chunk from the other parties as well. So if you're from because I think we're going to have lots of people who are going to be aspiring for the presidency. So each are going to have some votes because of tribal or ethnic backgrounds and patronage. But the UDP, in all fairness, is the biggest political party in the Gambia. They have the biggest political currency to have any meaningful. So any candidate who is endorsed by the UDP, I think has a bigger prospect than any other individual, especially when you have so many different individuals who contest.
Yeah. Finally, I do not want to talk about the Honorable Minister of Agriculture because, as you know, as our lawyer, we might be having some legal issues. But I mean, this is a reshuffle, and obviously we will have to address it. It seems like that the scandal might have to do we might have to say that the scandal also might play a part in him being relieved.
Because he's been completely removed.
Yes. Because what we saw, looked at it properly, the other coalition members, Fatou at least been made nice to say he's going to foreign service. Henry Gomez,
Space Youth Advisor.
But this one, he said relieved.
Yeah.
What does that tell us?
So basically, he's been sacked. And going by the press release, it doesn't appear that there's any there's no impending appointment in this administration. Yeah. So simply, he's been dismissed from his post. And again, OJ is a giant in Gambian politics. And I think he, to a large extent, at one point, was very vocal against Yahya Jammeh. I don't think it would have been a light decision taken by Barrow to relieve him completely. Yeah. I can only assume, but based on everything that's happened over the last few weeks, so perhaps, and I think that would be anybody's natural conclusion, that the president no longer had faith in him because of the allegations that arose in relation to an apparent or alleged misconduct or procedural irregularity in his department. Because otherwise, I cannot think of anything else why he would be relieved completely. So that is the most logical connection for his dismissal.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Fati, Lawyer Fati. This is a very interesting development, and we'll be following and see what happens. A lot of people are shocked, especially especially the Vice President. Yeah. A lot of people are shocked.
It's very surprising. But again, I read a book regularly by somebody who was for Tony Blair's longest service serving political appointees. Jonathan Powell, who was his chief of staff, and he wrote this book about Machiavelli, and going back to the Roman Empire, and the one thing repeatedly, leadership is about being faced with difficulties and tough decisions and challenges, but making decisions sometimes that you believe are the right thing, even though you may disagree with the entire country. So throughout Barrow's presidency, I think to a large extent, the film justification that he was almost, sometimes I can argue, that almost like a lame duck president. He hardly approaches the public in terms of telling to speak to us. Incident happened in Faraba a couple of weeks ago. It took him days to go to Faraba. He didn't address the nation immediately. And so many such incidences. But this is what makes you a leader. Whether he believed that the direction of the cabinet didn't fulfill the ambitions or the aspirations of what he had for the country, but in any way he reacted. Whether he reacted because of what his heart, but he did something, and he did something by all accounts that we're putting on, because I think this is a massive reshuffle.
Yeah.
So it shows that that he has some steel in him. He has some brute in him. But he can make such difficult choices. So to us, the literate around the Greater Banjul area perhaps look at this and debate the intellectual, implications of this. But if you go to rural Gambia, I'm guessing this is also unheard of in Gambia. On a single day, for the vice president to be removed, the minister of finance to be removed, agriculture, but almost half the cabinet has been changed or reshuffled. So how this is going to be played out, or how this is going to be perceived in the rural Gambia is significant.
It's significant
because what people would say, for those people who are loyal to the UDP, is that he's done the right thing. That perhaps the UDP that fought and succeeded in the ousting, whether that is correct or not is a moot point. But that's what we would say. And I think he's done the right thing now by appointing Dabo as the vice president. That this is now a UDP government, because it was UDP that challenged them consistently for 20 years. And some other areas as well, perhaps people who are who follow politics less in Banjul will look at this and say, well, if he can do this, then he's capable of making this as well. And therefore, this assumption that he is weak is just misplaced.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Abdullah. Thank you so much for your contribution. I think this is a crazy Friday. It's a crazy Friday.
It always happens on Friday.
Yeah, I think this is Java style. It always happen on Friday. So but what is happening? Let me just hold on, guys. Hold on. Yes, I'm just gonna.
Salu jade o Cairo bije wala dinga Cairo mo pedi
Cairo bije ete kunna Cairo bije
ni ajen Cairo mo wanda ngaman ku dole long Tekela to nyindirla anum fana tekela fitna moni nagorozi zalim de kambala anum fana munate khadila Nibo wallahi kakambia nibo wala dingwa kile kutamira kuta kambia kutoi adinga nagara adinga nagara Asisa uno kairala jaita kabao mesinakala Avangara mo jaita dima Aja bintu gonda dima Roy fal kema Farmara jaita kema Na dosa kema Avansu le jaita doma Aja kaza manding jaita doma Ani aja mati da jaita wuluta Jaita kabao Majula jaita fama Usmani jaita fama Salifu Barkina jaita fama Sidi jaita fama Amadu jaita fama Salifu Kaira mokwe Kudubo di bateri mao Musa suso teri ma alaji konte teri Jali baku ya de teri ma Abaya ya maro ne teri mo Usman sise teri Kalilu ture kainde teri Jaita kuna anda tuwa de bembala Buye jaita te manto moro goyi Fana na tuwa jabi nama Adiba dunga kera modu kumandi Dr. Puba Baji Dekuma Baji kema Stockholm Fakia Baju ada terima Adiba dunga kera modu kumandi Lamini jawlao Dada rainbow Sanyam badala Kota rainbow What a loto. Segujam Nagirangai Spending coins of Motola Magnani Alayua Punatalibo Ah, Gera Modu Kumani Dada Kaira Kabi Loto Pirikama Sana Kula Hey Yulia Tura de Dina Jataba musol way Wal fana tura de di jadi bala kiyam Jurum kusebo nada modu wa gay Jun fana tura de dina Siri famboji dampungu Sajamboji dima baradu Tura lunila inubara So kumbadima Fanta kamara kema Ajakan kema Ali badu makera modu kumandi Ibengana dala kira nyamanada Lamin kinde Kaira Kongo Jara suma Badam fakema Mama dam Matari balde musma Kanimi Nakaira modu hainan di Sweden Fatou mane yoti bori Kujeja jambe Monante gina dada Abaraka sabiture Sajo mesture Sajo badi umi badi kotoma Fanabe Sweden Salim fele Aninga nakala Nakala kat 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 Kairo bije, jaida kunna Kairo bije.